Hello there, website owners, bloggers. My name is Mallory. I am back from unlikelyblogger.co. I promised I would create a video showing you kind of my workflow for making these silo pages or maybe like a hub page. We know these are important for SEO, as well as kind of sprucing up meta descriptions for old posts while we're at it. For me, I know those may seem like two totally random things in the blogging world, but for me, as far as how I update my old content, they are very closely intertwined. So I'm going to show you what I mean when I say a silo page or a hub page. We know that for SEO or for creating authority on your site, you have to create a lot of content around one topic, right? Either one category for bloggers, that's usually what these are, or even just one topic on your site. If you have a lot of content around one thing, you want to gather it up into a kind of master page, the silo page or a hub page, as I call it. So here I have one. I have a lot of posts about hiking safety on my own personal blog. So this is the hub page that I created here. So you saw we had the title, we have this kind of intro paragraph, and then I just jump into sharing all of the different little pockets of content that I have throughout my site that are related to hiking safety. So this is a post here. First aid training for hikers is all the different kinds of first aid you could take. Building your own first aid kit, assembling your own kit is a different post. So you can see I have a post title and then a brief description, but you'll see as we go down, then eventually you can tell I got a little lazy here. This is a very old page, mind you. Do as I say, not as I do. When I created this, I was like, oh, I'm gonna at least assemble all my links, get all my blog posts together, and then I'll go back and update and add in these descriptions. And of course, life happens and we don't go back. Or I mean, here I am, a year and a half later, going back to update this. So it is well overdue. I thought I'd share my process with you now because it is not as painful as I had been making it out to be. So you can see I already did this one. I'm splitting it up. Some of my other hub pages have even like more subcategories. So that's why I have this kind of subheading here. But so hiking and backpacking safety tips. And then here are all my posts that are related to that. So you can see here's one post and I already have written this little a meta description pretty much for it. So that is inside the post as well as the SEO meta description. And then I am pasting it in here also just to try to build out a little bit of content, a little bit more context on this page for Google, because as you can tell, there are like 340 words on this page, which is not ideal. I found that after I go through this process, I usually do end up with about 1,000 words, maybe 800, maybe 1,200 words on these silo pages or hub pages by just building out these descriptions for my content. So here's this next post we're going to go into: wildfire safety tips and resources for hikers. And I like to have two tabs open so I can easily toggle between back and forth. So here's my hub page. And then now here I just switch tabs into, this is my actual post that I'm going to do a little bit of editing in. Something else that I like to do while I'm here, just because I have a lot of really old content. Oh, sorry, let me get back to this post editor. Okay. So something I always check on while I'm here is this featured image okay in the back end of WordPress? So for me, at least as well, I've changed themes over the years, and my old theme, actually, it was a very good fit for me to have my pin image with text on it and everything as the featured image. I like that. I like the way that it looked on my site, both for my posts and in other parts of my site where the featured image was shown. It made sense to have that long pin image with text. Now in my new theme, that does not make sense at all. And so I'm trying to update these featured images to be more appropriate and more normal as a featured image, as you might tell. So that would be, at like my big hero image on my actual blog post when you're viewing it in the front end. And then here, this is something new I also started doing with this new theme, is I'd like to start including an excerpt. And that is some blog posts you'll see they almost have like a small paragraph. Sometimes it's even just a sentence of text at the very top of the blog post. That's the excerpt. It's not even part of the post content over here. It shows up like at the very top, and it's usually in a slightly different font. This is dictated by your theme. I'm sure you could customize it with some CSS if you wanted to, but I want to start adding in these excerpts, which I didn't used to have activated in my old theme. But so as you can tell, this is becoming kind of quite the process, right, of making this excerpt and making sure the meta description is set and making sure that there's the description on my silo page. So what I do is I use Jasper. Again, like I said, I'm going to make this a series. I'm in Jasper pretty much every working day that I'm working on my blog. I use it for too many different things not to share. And I love this PAS framework, problem, agitate, solution. So it's just pretty much a method of making some copy for you. This is great too for even just blog introductions or maybe social media posts. Like I said, there are a lot of places where you can fit this PAS framework into your site and your content strategy. So we're going to go into here, and it says product description. So ideally, I mean, this is made or designed for maybe products or retailers. Like I said, I use it as a blogger and content creator. So in my product description, I'm just going to put in a blog post full of wildfire safety tips for hikers. I mean, that's my product, right? Even though I'm not technically selling anything, it's just a blog post full of information. And then tone of voice, I'm going to keep it casual. Sometimes I do friendly. You can choose any tone of voice you want in there and see what Jasper, excuse me, spits out. And I like to I'll just keep it at 4 outputs. I like to choose a couple more outputs than I actually need, just so I can have options and choose the best one that it makes. So we're going to click generate AI content. All right. So then here we go. And this is another kind of quirky thing with the PAS framework, is that it is actually spitting out the words problem, agitate, solution, which like you don't want to include that in your final copy. But so here we go. There's every year wildfires devastate communities and destroy homes. The problem is only getting worse. In the last decades, wildfires have increased by 77%. One way to prevent these disasters is to educate yourself on how to stay safe in a wildfire. That's where your adventure coach comes in. We provide tips and advice on how to enjoy the great ideas or great outdoors while still being aware of the dangers posed by wildfires. So that is pretty fitting. It's, how to still enjoy the great outdoors, go hiking and camping, what to do if there is a wildfire near you while you're doing those things. Let's see what else we spit out. This one looks a little bit lengthy. Sometimes if they're lengthy, you can even get away with just using like one of these paragraphs, or maybe just 1 or 2 of these paragraphs. You don't have to use the whole thing, which is great. Like I said, you want to just pick and choose whatever is most fitting for you. So then here, even like this one, I may just swipe these 2 paragraphs. Every year, wildfires cause devastation in the US. More and more people are hiking and exploring nature, but many don't know how to stay safe from wildfires. With summer coming up, now is the time to start planning your hikes and outdoor adventures. Before you do, make sure you're aware of the dangers of wildfires and how to protect yourself. That is very fitting. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put that right here in the excerpt. And then, like I said, though, we have to be careful. I'm going to take out that word agitate, because that's kind of more for the back end. And then I'm going to copy this again, and I'm going to make some variation of this in my actual SEO meta description, which I use rank math, highly love it, highly recommend it. Even the free plan is pretty wonderful and has a lot of features. I found rank math has a lot more features than Yoast on the free version. So let's just make this. And I want to try to include, so I'm trying to figure out a way to include my target keyword here in the meta description. So wildfire safety tips for hikers. Make sure you're aware of, that's not going to be in the description. start learning these wildfire safety tips for hikers. All right, and then just gonna leave it at that. So there's my meta description, my excerpt, all right, is set in my post, and that's gonna show up right at the very heading of my post. And then I'm also going to copy that same tidbit onto this silo page. Okay, so this is my big hub page. All my hiking safety tips are gathered on this page. I'm just gonna add that in as a paragraph here. So you can see how this is going to be pretty built out with, my subheadings and a paragraph. I can insert a few images throughout this just to break it up. Maybe even on some of them, if it includes maybe like my gear, like hiking safety gear, I can include some affiliate links or affiliate images in there. Again, just to break it up. You can see I still have a lot of work to do on this page. And yeah, so I'm going to keep chugging away on this. And then once these silo pages are actually updated with much more content and context on the page, then I can republish it to a newer date, start sharing it out again, and try to get that SEO traffic going back to this silo page, as well as at the same time kind of sprucing up these much older posts that may need, a little work on the excerpts and meta descriptions there. So hopefully this was helpful. Let me know what questions you have about either, kind of these hub pages or making a big combination of all your content around one topic. Let me know if you have any questions about using Jasper. Like I said, I love this tool. I use it for everything from long form content to, as you can see, kind of shorter form content here. These would also make great social media posts if you just want to snag a paragraph to share on social media with an image from your post. Yeah, that's it for now. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye.